Good evening, everybody. I don't know whether you know me. I am Chandra Dasan. You can call me Chandra. I am from Kochi, Kerala, and I'm here talking to you because I do theatre for the last, say, at least from 1987. I'm doing serious theatre, so I am here, and I'm asked to speak about my journey in theatre. I don't know how it's going to be relevant for you theatre people, but I can say what I have been doing and what are my priorities, etc., and how I started and I went on. I'll be happy to answer your questions and queries. If you got anything, you can type. Even in between, you can add. I may shift little to answer those questions and include your questions. Okay, I myself was born in 1958 in a very remote village in Kerala. It's a very rustic village. I grew up there, out as a usual village boy. But there's a lot of performance around. That's the first thing. The festivals in the temple, the church, the library movement is so strong in Kerala, the village libraries. So the anniversaries of the village libraries, school anniversaries, everywhere there were plays performed, not great productions, very rustic productions, soap stories like that, but plays have been performed and grew up seeing a lot of that. And the respect these actors got in the village and the admiration they got fascinated me. And during that time, when I was lucky to grow in the 70s, which was a really rich period in the history of Kerala, a lot of things was happening there, even in the Indian history. The 70s, the temples and churches belong to everybody. So for young boys like us, the temple is the place to play any sort of games, not just pray. And when the festival comes, we have the right to perform in that festival. It doesn't depend upon you are a Hindu or a Christian or a Dalit or a high caste or low caste. All the people combine together to form a play and perform it in the temple or in the church. So that was a very kind of young period where I grew up. But my village had a lot of theatre around, very rustic. I was not performing, watching it, and I didn't get a place to act or doing anything else because there are already established actors. And then in the college I started doing the campus theatre. I got noticed because of one play. I was selected as a best actor. I represented the college in the university competition, and then the whole thing started by the campus theatre. In 1977, a school of drama, an institute where theatre is being taught under Calicut University, started in Kerala. That's the first school to come in Kerala where you can graduate in theatre. I wanted to join there, but my father said no. You opted for chemistry as your degree subject and you have to study that. If you are not interested to study chemistry, you can stop studying and be at home. That's all. So even if I wanted to go to the school of drama, I couldn't. I continued my chemistry. I post-graduated and I got a job as a chemistry teacher in a college in Cochin. And in 82, I traveled to Cochin as a teacher of chemistry, and I was there teaching in St. Albert's College, Cochin, till 2015. So that shift from a remote village to the city of Cochin made a big change, because now I have the opportunity to see theatre, to see Kudiyatam, to see paintings, to hear good music. So I'm exposed to a kind of music, art, theatre, classical, all those things. Of course, in my village, I was used to see a lot of Kathakali and a lot of folk performances by the so-called lower strata of the people, very rustic performances. That's also remaining inside me. And after started teaching as a chemistry professor, I started moving to, visiting the School of Drama in Trichy, watching people doing it. And it is there I saw when first he was doing a workshop for the students of School of Drama, and I became a friend of him from there. So I was watching the productions there, the workshops there, how theatre is being taught there, and the productions there, etc. So I was studying as an outsider. And in 87, 88, I started doing theatre seriously. And that 80s again, 80s and 90s was a highly theatre dense time in the history of Kerala. In every village, there were theatre competitions, one night play competitions to be more specific. Because you put up a play, you perform it, some 8 or 10 or 12 plays will be performed during a full night. It's a competition, you'll be best plays, best actor, best director, all those things goes on. But the thing is that, these productions were very good in a way. Of course, it was a kind of makeshift stage and you have to do it in a very quick thing. But the productions of Waiting for Godot, many productions of Brecht, and all those things happened in these rustic places. And it's there I started my theatre also. So one of my most successful productions in the beginning is an adaptation of Badal Sarkar's The Mitchell, The Procession, into Malayalam. I put it in a kind of proscenium stage and adapted to that place, and it was a big success in that kind of theatre. And then followed the murder of Sadr Hashmi in Delhi. So as a response to that, I took the play Raja Ki Baja and directed it in Malayalam, again adapted to the proscenium, not as a straight play. So these two plays were performed a lot, more than 300 shows in say 2 years, and that placed me as a director of plays in the Kerala theatre scenario. It's the late 80s, and by the 90s, I just found that I couldn't go to a theatre school to get trained myself. I studied only chemistry. I not studied theatre at all, means academically, or in a proper theatre school. I didn't say that I didn't study theatre. I have studied a lot. And I thought that we should have a theatre center where people who cannot directly go and get into a school of drama can also get some training in theatre, acting training, and awareness about history and aesthetics of the whole process of doing theatre. So I started a school in 1990. It's in the name of my own group, Lokadharmi. It's Lokadharmi Nataka Shala. That's the name. It is named Christian by late Kavalam Narayana Panikar. He is the person who gave this name for me. So Lokadharmi, we started theatre workshops on all Sundays for any kind of people. There may be school dropouts, there may be employees, there may be students, there will be teachers, there will be anybody. Anybody can come and get the training. It's a very informal thing. There's no kind of compulsions of the curriculum to do it here and do it there and the exams, nothing like that. It's going on. And friends from the students from School of Drama, the teachers from School of Drama, and many theatre people, in the beginning from Kerala and then from outside Kerala and from the other parts of the world, came and associated with me, and they took sessions, and we started a kind of parallel theatre training, which we were continuing on all Sundays from 1990 onwards till last March, when the whole country is locked down. We cannot assemble. So it was happening on all Sundays, whatever be the day, Easter, any sort of celebrations, nothing like that. Sunday means we have the theatre workshop, theatre sessions, the teaching sessions. Even if I am not here, somebody will be in charge of that, will be engaging it. Except this last few months after this COVID. And then it flourished. And then my group, Lokadharmi, started doing productions. These productions were performed in different areas of Kerala till 1995-96. One of the first successful productions was an adaptation of Karnataka, which I don't know, somebody might have seen or heard about that production. It's still running. We did it. The first show, premiere show, was in '92, I think, and still we are performing it. It's continuously in the repertory of Lokadharmi. We have done some 335 shows or more than that in different parts of India, and it's quite successfully running production. And then an adaptation of The Tempest, production of Poranadi, it means Outcast, written by Kavalam Naradapanikar. Then Media by Euripides, and again adapted, all these things. And by 96-97 we started going out of Kerala and performing. The first states which invited us was Orissa, Bihar, then Kolkata, that belt. So we started going out and performing this place. By 2000 we started moving out of India. One of the biggest occasions for us was in 2000 when we were invited to perform in the International Classical Theatre Festival of Greece. It happened in Greece, Athens, Kalamata and Pylos, three centers. They were celebrating the Greek theatre. So they wanted to know how the Greek theatre is being performed outside Greece. So companies from China and Antigone in a Chinese operatic style, Argentina, Italy, and one group from Greece and from India we were performing. So we have to travel throughout Greece and perform at three different venues. It's a great event, and we have performed at that very traditional 2,500-year-old arena theatre where Euripides might have also performed. That was a great occasion. And then coming back, we continued the theatre till day. And at the same time, I was teaching chemistry also till 2015, when I took an voluntary retirement from my job as a chemistry teacher, because I was selected for a Fulbright Nehru fellowship to visit America and to study theatre, to do a research project on theatre. So I opted out of it. Was there for some time, 6 months, traveled throughout the states. So some 83 productions, met a lot of people, theatres, great people like Louis Walders, Peter Schumann, Mary Zimmerman, Ranti Schul. So all these people, talked to them, saw their production, saw their work, and came back. And then now in 2017 we have created a space for theatre, our own space, where we have some residential facilities, workshop things, and an open air space where we can perform. So now we have a space for ourselves. We created it in 2017, and then we have regular workshops happening from different parts of the world, from states, from Latin America, Brazil, Argentina, Europe, Finland, Lithuania, Greece, Malta, Australia. A lot of people come and do some kind of collaborative work, workshops, our regular trainings, our productions, and we are traveling and performing, etc. is one thing. And in between, other than the productions I do for my group, I started moving out and directing plays for other companies, other groups. For example, I've done 4 productions in Karnataka. The last two were, one is for Rangayana, the repertory theatre of Kannada government, and the other was for National School of Drama Bangalore chapter. And then before that I did a production for National School of Drama Delhi for the students there, and many other places. And I have traveled to Finland to do a production for a theatre group there, and in Lithuania I did another production there. So moving in and doing productions in many different languages which I do not know. like Lithuanian, Finnish, Kannada, Tamil, and Hindi. Hindi, we are not very. I can understand Hindi, but I'm not well versed in Hindi and the nuances of Hindi. But I have done the directions of that also. And so this career is going on. In between, I am writing a little, write some plays here and there. Especially, I do work with children also. We have a children's theatre company, which is known as Malavilla. It's in Malayalam. It means a rainbow. Since there are not enough good plays for the children to perform, sometimes I have to write and publish those texts also. So I do children's plays also, and still going on. So that's the kind of my journey as an autobiography. But that's not the thing. But if I just go back and check my productions and what is there, I have done all kinds of productions, but mostly I've selected classics. From Sanskrit, I have done Karnataka by Bhasa. With National School Drama, they wanted me to do Shakuntalam with the students of National School Drama. It's in Hindi. It's there in YouTube. You can see it if you love to. So Shakuntalam I have done. I've done Matavilasam in Sanskrit here in Kerala. And I've done Media, one of the production which we took to Greece. That was in Malayalam, an adaptation by Euripides. I've done 2.5 Shakespeare's. 2.5 means I've done Macbeth and Tempest adaptations both. And then I did a production titled Agle and Cleopatra. Agle is a Lithuanian character, a folk character from there, and Cleopatra is Shakespeare's Cleopatra. I have took the two stories of these two heroines and then made into a kind of one-actor performance that happened in Lithuania. Then it was reproduced in Malayalam in Kerala. So I've done Shakespeare. I've done Ubburoy by Alfred Jarry. I've done Madhavi by Vishwasani. I've done few Malayalam plays, including Nataka by a contemporary playwright and my friend Sangeetha Madathil. She wrote it and she was performing it in the main role also. I've done Panikar's Kavalam, Panikar's Poranadi and Otte and the Lone Tusker. I've done those. I've done Patabaki. That's a very historical play, a very realistic play, written in 1936. It is the first political play written in Kerala. So I've done it in a very kind of realistic style. So I've done from classics to comedies to I have adapted poetry into stage. I've done children's plays. I've done comedies. One of the successful productions which I did for Enkana is Puck in Arcadia. It's a musical comedy. I love to do musicals. So I've tried all those jams, but mostly I go for a very strong text. I need a good text like these names, many of these texts you are familiar with. And then I'm not going to reproduce it just for that sake. I'm to interpret that text and find out what element of that text is relevant for me right now. What does that play speaks about my own period or my own place? For example, Tempest is about the process of colonization. It's not that typical story which we all know. It's about the process of colonization. I want to reinterpret the text and understand it like that. When I did Media, it's about the relationship between a man and his wife. How the man manipulates his own positions and go for new pleasures while the female is already suppressed. So I took it from a female point of view and how she can do a revenge and how she can teach a lesson kind of thing. That's Media. In Shakuntalam also, it's what was the kind of man-woman relationship from those period onwards, and how does it happen or affect the females? How man has just become a playboy and going around very happily, and the sufferer is always the women. So it's done from a feminist, eco-feminist point of view. In Karnataka, it's again not just bravery of, not about just the bravery of Karna, it's about the caste system present in India, and that from that time to this time. It's even if Karna is born in a very higher class, privileged society, he's the son of Kunti and the god of the sun god, but has grown up in the family of Radha and Suta, who belong to the lower strata of the society. So he has denied many things just out of his caste, so-called caste, or his position in the social ladder. And what is the reason for that? So it is an inquiry into that. So all my productions are kind of rereadings based on contemporary socio-political cultural reality of the present day. So all these productions are done to understand the social structure of the present day, the relationships happening in the present day, the political cultural situation of the present day. It's not just to visit or reproduce a time-old classic. So that's one of the things. And now I may reshuffle text a little bit, add a little here, edit this and that. I may not be adding any kind of external things to make it contemporary. I just underline certain things, edit certain things, emphasize certain things, and make my point get across. That's what I'm doing. And about the content, I am very sure about this. One of my biggest influences in theatre, I told you that no, I have not been undergoing a particular training in a theatre school, but I have been watching our masters even today doing their productions. Kavalam Narayana Panika from Kerala, G. Shankarapilla is a mentor of myself, and there's a playwright director known as R. Narendra Prasad, very popular in Kerala, did a lot of experimental work. And beyond that, it's the great Habib Tanvir who influenced me a lot. Habib, I was watching him, talking to him, seeing him rehearsing. He was so lovable, he was just caring me a lot. And he is the person who decided what should be my play look like and speak like. So he told me that I'm envious about our youngsters, these young directors and theatre people who have immense craft on them. They can do wonders on stage, visually, spectacles, this, that, everything, but they don't look into the content. What should this play communicate? So if you give some emphasis of that was the advice given to me by Habibji. So my first priority when I am doing a text, selecting a text, is to aim at a particular content. The super objective, as Stanislavski has put it. What should be my super objective? What should be that one line, that one thing that communicates, speaks to my people, who is my audience? So that's the first thing. And then I have to reread the text and understand the text based on this particular thing, and reform the text. It's a kind of deconstruction and reconstruction of the text into a thing which suits my purpose of doing that play. Then comes the form. And regarding the form also, it should reflect the content. A form should not be a totally different thing. Its form also should speak about the content. But I am from Kerala, and I have been watching a lot of rustic folk ritual performances from my childhood, and a lot of things has influenced me. And Indian theatre is such a great thing, great heritage of music, movement, color, spectacle, celebration, and it's an actor-centric thing. It's not a text-based thing like the Western theatre, or like Aristotle defined in Poetics. The text is not the important thing, it is the actor. So it's an actor-based theatre which I wanted to make for me. But I do love to celebrate, move, etc. And the kind of stage which usually it would be great if I can design a space for my play, break the proscenium, convert a neutral space into a performance space, define new relationship between the actor and the audience, kind of by sitting directly addressing to the audience. Basically, from that day, means from the days of Aristotle or Bharata, theaters people are storytellers. We are telling the stories. We tell stories to the people live. It's not a digital kind of version. See, even I am little do not know how many people are watching me and what is your response, how you take it, and what communicates, what doesn't communicate, what is relevant and what is not relevant. I'm not seeing it. Unless I see, if I'm speaking to you live, seeing you, I could know, okay, this thing which I said is making you, that's relevant for you, and this is not relevant for you. So this is just firing to nowhere. So it's the life experience of sharing the space, seeing each other, hearing the heartbeat, hearing the passion, means sharing the passion and the anxiety. That's the essence of theatre. So, and the proscenium theatre as such has a lot of comfort in placing the theatre, like blocking, putting the lights, bringing the properties, exits, entries. It's a very safe place to do the performance. If you go to a kind of a theatre in the round where people are surrounded, or where people are very intimate, you don't have that kind of space, means comfort. You have to take a risk, but that risk will give you another benefit. You can directly talk to people, you can directly touch the people, so it can be very intimate. So somehow from the beginning itself I was little not happy with the proscenium arch itself. And honestly, the play Karnataka, which has been performed many places, it has been done for an open, just a neutral space and performing there. But we have to travel, and when I come to Mumbai or Delhi, I may have to put up the play in a proscenium. We may have to shift the performance to the available space. I may have one design in the space design. Sometimes no, I may get it for some place. So it's the flexibility and adaptability is also important. But even if it's put on a proscenium, the aesthetics and the grammar of the production is not based on the proscenium aesthetic grammar. We just see that no, the fourth wall is not there. I'm addressing directly to the people. We're looking at the people. We are seeing the people. We are responding to them. And as I was working more and more, means when I moved recently, I'm more for very intimate kind of theatre where the audience is also part of the performance. It's a kind of inclusive theatre, including the audience. I do design right now. This puck in Arcadia, the Lip Puck, which I did for Rangayana, which has been tremendously running till the COVID days. They have, in 4 months, they had completed some more than 40-45 shows throughout Karnataka. People like it, and I get messages and calls, and it's a hilarious comedy, musical set like kind of pseudo Shakespearean play. It might look like Shakespearean play. It has characters of Shakespeare, like the three witches are there, Falstaff from King Lear is there, Puck is there, but other characters are there. It speaks from that time about a lot of things happening in India right now. It speaks about the honor killings. If a Dalit boy is in love with the princess, both will be killed and hanged. And also it speaks about marriage between two girls, a lesbian marriage. So we celebrate the lesbian marriage and the marriage of across the caste and creed to end the play. It's a totally different play. It's a hilarious comedy, but it's inclusive of the audience. The play happens on the stage, down, characters are here, there, sometimes making one of the audience also to act a little small kind of thing. It's kind of those things. So this direct relationship which I wanted to have between the audience and the performance is one thing I'm looking for. And I'm using light, I use a lot of music and a lot of painting. In all my productions, most of my productions, I work with artists, and big paintings to small paintings, a lot of paintings is done on the set, here, there, it's brought in to represent the period, to represent the time, the place, the background, even to represent certain characters. In Shakuntalam, we used a lot of paintings to translate the poetry of Kalidasa into visual images. So it's a kind of spectacle engaging people. So without engaging the people, I cannot put across my content. So I wanted to make the performance interesting, engaging, entertaining, with music, movement, color, choreography, objects, properties, and I work with actors. Actors has to create the character, the great performances, and it has to be, if there's a moment where you can act to that extreme ecstasy, as in a ritual, it's great. It's not pretending to be the character. I'm not asking the actor to pretend the character unless it is needed for that character, for that genre of the play, for the specific play. But on the occasions you just break out, grow yourself to that extreme performing area, it's great as in a ritual. Because these ritual performances is inside me as specifically from as an Indian and more as a Keralite, because we live with that. But it's done with a very rational purposes. It is not to reinforce any kind of religious or thing. It's very rational kind of thing, very progressive kind of thing, very political kind of thing, and it puts across the issues of the marginalized, the marginal peoples. Most of my plays speaks about the victimization of the Dalits and the women, or the village, or somebody who is deprived of power, position in the society. So that's the other aspect about my theatre. I think I have been talking for them some 35 to 40 minutes, and if you got anything to, if you found anything interesting, and if you want any aspect to be elaborated, I would love to welcome the questions or any inquiries, so that I can say that I can answer to that if we can come up with something. For me, theatre is a kind of a cultural, political activity, and when I was thinking back, these Corona days, COVID days made me sit back and think about my kind of theatre, what was been influencing me, as working models, theatre I have seen, and theatre I would love to have performed. And I found that I have been influenced a lot by the classical Indian aesthetics, and more than that, the folk Indian performances. I've been traveling all over India. Whenever I get a chance, I go and see the performances in that place. Let it be Tamasha from Maharashtra, or Nautanki from the North India. Yes, Jyoti, hello. Meeta, you are there. Oh, namaskar, Meeta. Meeta has done lighting for one of my children's plays, and also she was doing the lighting when I directed Shakuntalam in Kerala, and her husband did it when I was doing it in Delhi National School of Drama. So nice meeting you, Meeta. And what was I saying? I was influenced by the classical Indian theatre tradition, and also the folk theatre which I was been seeing. I've been much fascinated by the rusticity of the village theatre, where it's highly indigenous. No kind of clear-cut aesthetics may work. It's very rough and raw and crude, but very powerful, honest, striking, cutting across. To tell the story, Pandavani is a great example. So, and also the theatre of Indian tradition, like the Natashastra tradition and our Kudiyatam tradition, gives a chance for the actor to narrate the story, interpret the story, and also to critique the same story. I can act as one character, I can criticize this same character, and also I can make a comment on the same character while performing. I can shift from one position to another position. Habibji was doing it. See, he was acting, suddenly he becomes part of the chorus narrating, then switched on to the character. So this sudden kinds of changes from the actor to the character to the narrator to the critic, that's a space which Indian theatre gives. And compared with music and movement and a very informal kind of a narrative structure where you can enter into the story at any level, exit out of it, and then enter again and exit out of it. It's a wonderful kind of narrative mode which Indian theatre gives, which nowhere else in the world can we find such a structure. I am highly fascinated with that. That's what I was fascinated with Habibji. And I think that one play which I have seen some 8-10 times, Charandas too, is the model for me. It's a great event. See how an actor grows into that extreme heights of acting, of performing and becoming the character, and within a second switches off, takes off the character and yes Rohit, hello, and get into kind of the narrator outside the story, into the story. So this kind of a flexible structure, that's fascinating me to create the performances. So, and of course, I cannot resist the influence of Aristotle, aesthetics, and Stanislavski. And when I am working with an actor, my favorite device is method acting. I do a lot of Stanislavskian exercises, a lot of emotional memory and sense memory exercises with my actors to identify or to understand the emotional level of the character, and if possible go into that. And I have tried emotional memory, all those techniques in stylized productions also. We have a misunderstanding that Stanislavski is only for realism and he can only do it for kind of realistic stuff where it's just for that. No, even in my Karna Bharam, the protagonist Karna, the actor undergoes into his own personal memories, his own kind of separations and all the insult he has faced in his life, and he's thinking about that and getting that memories, and he's speaking the lines of Karna, and the movement which has been stylized using little colory and Kathakali kind of movements, but he's focused internally into his own life and his own kind of experience using. So that's why people say that because this is the secret of working between me and my actors. We have a lot of Karna Bharams in India. Panikarji has done it, Ratan TMG has done it, and so many directors have done it. And many people say that my Karna Bharam is more emotional. It connects with people very emotionally, even if it has the traditional look of a Kerala classical theatre background and atmosphere. So the look is like that, but it is much more emotional, which you may not find that much in a so-called classical theatre. So that's because of Stanislavski. So that means I'm actually a kind of synthesis of the Western masters and their theories, along with my own cultural, aesthetical, political background. If I was not born in Kerala, my theatre might have been different. I don't know whether I'll be doing theatre, but it would have been different if I am doing it. So my land has decided my theatre, my language, my priorities. Even if I am communicating it to a total of universal kind of audience, my media, which do not look like a kind of Kerala productions. Even if you the form wise doesn't show any Kerala kind of form, folk or classical form. If you can see anything, you can see a little of ras, some under some folk dance of Gujarat, Maharashtra, that area, not from Kerala area. In movement, some choreography here and there, etc. We have a lot of mask from the Greek to the Kerala tradition. So it's a kind of synthesis. But internally, we were working with how the actor can transcend to the heights of a demigod, a goddess. How this transcendence can happen. It happens in our many folk forms like Teyyam. Charu, you're welcome to come. Let the corona be over. Come to Cochin and just send me a message. You can come and be with us for some time in our theatre and see what we are doing. See this kind of very focused kind of transcendence. It's beyond realism. It's just growing as a superpower, superhuman. That happens in Teyyam. So we have been working with the process of a Teyyam artist and how this character grows. Because my problem was that media, to do revenge to her husband, she kills her children. So the mother kills the children to do the revenge to the husband, and the audience has to feel this action, means they have to say that okay, media did the right thing. She cannot be questioned. But a mother killing the children for any reason cannot be approved by our society. We cannot accept that. Then what we can do? She has to do this, and the audience should be with her side. So then I just thought, if an ordinary person like me or you kill someone, means your child, you'll be blamed. But what if a god does it? If goddess Kali or some super person like Kali or a semi-goddess does this to teach the mortals a lesson, you will worship her. So I just want to grow this character to that height, the height of a goddess, so that she does it to teach this mortal a lesson. So that's a process. That's a content. Means that's our aim. So to do that, I have something in the text. I have to find some reasons in text, and of course, she belongs to the race of the sun god. He sends his people to save her at the last, the messengers, and she has that ancestry with the god sun, and she is the priest of the goddess Hecate, and she is having some black magic in her. She's a magician, black magician. So this black magic, this Hecate and the sun god, that has some extra human thing inside her, but she has kept everything out, digged it in ground, and converted herself into a very ordinary village girl, so that she can be in love with Jason and be his wife, the mother of the two children. But when she understood that she has been victimized, she is going for another marriage without telling her, in hiding. She wanted to do research. She takes those things out and goes back to that level where she can teach this lesson. So the actress and myself was been from the first entry of her. We have been creating kind of acting pattern which shows that there's something extraordinary in this character, something which is higher than the other people on the stage, and she's at a height, and that elevation happens due to acting. And we adapted the process of Teyyam, and their costumes was also very heavy, because Teyyam artists wear very heavy costumes, and they dance with that heavy costumes with the erect backbone. So wearing this big costume, means heavy costume with a lot of metals and many layers of clothing, colorful, and then she's staying and walking and looking people from a kind of thing with fire around her. So it's a kind of raising. So there's an interesting thing. So I'll conclude my talk with that instant. When we went to Greece and I was to perform before the first performance, the day before we were doing the rehearsals, then one Greek person came to me and got introduced and asked me, okay, what is the play you are going to perform? I said, it's Medea. They call it Medea. Oh, then he said, oh, Medea, why should you do that right now? It's a very old play. And I just wanted to please him and said, no, Greek classics are forever and it's so great to do those things, etc., just to please that Greek person. But he said, no, it's has nothing to do with the contemporary reality of my life. It's just museum pieces. It's to be kept in the museum and of course for the tourists to come and watch and go. And that's the way the Greeks are doing the play right now there. They do all the kind of traditional mask, movements, everything, and they do the text as such. That's what he told me. I said, no, I did the play to speak about my life in Kerala right now and the relationship which we have between the husband and wife and something. He'd come tomorrow and see the play. And then he came to see the play, and after that he came to tell me that, no, you are done. Yeah, I'll come to that, doing the Sanskrit play. I just finished it in 1 or 2 lines. So he said that, this play speaks about my life also. And you have done an Indian magic in it. To convert that age-old play into contemporary thing, you have done some kind of a magic. And then he followed the productions. We had 3 shows. In distance it is to travel for 8 hours by road, etc. And traveled and then came to see the second show again, and it's like that. So it's a translation of the content to suit the contemporary issues is the one thing, and then of course the form we have to create to suit that. And I have my experience is that our own Indian theatre spread across the country will have enough materials for us to create our own visual language and our own narrative language. So it's the base on which I am working on. And Jaydev asked about the experience of making the Sanskrit play. Again, the Sanskrit play, the first Sanskrit play which much showed is Karnataka. I told you it's about the manipulation of a so-called Dalit hero by the Brahmins. They want to control him and use him according to their needs, and wanted to eliminate him at the right moment. So it's how he is manipulated. So this play has been performed. I did the play in 1991. I started working on that, and that was the time. I'm not. I repeatedly accepted that. Late 80s was a very burning period in India, kind of this Mandal issue. The Mandal Commission report, strikes for it, against it. A lot of people putting fire on themselves, buses, offices being put on fire, a lot of fire around. And we are more conscious about our own caste and creed, and high class people wanted to establish their position because they are afraid that it will be lost. And the lower class people thought, no, we are also Indians, so we have our right positions, we want to do that. And it was on these issues which is remaining in India since the age of Karna or Mahabharata or even before that. This 2500 or more than years of history of India is speaking about the history of casteism and this kind of discrimination. My play was speaking about that. And I didn't say anything extra other than the lines narrated by Bhasa. It's written by Bhasa, and I've kept all the lines and done nothing, but I did it through the visual language, and it has been many people loved it, and many people have strong criticism about it. And after performing in Cuttack, I think I have performed this play 3 or 4 times. In Patna I have done it twice in 2 consecutive years in the same festival. They wanted to see the play again. And in Patna, somebody came and said, no, he took his holy thread out and showed me and said, no, I am a Brahmin, I don't do this. He was very angry. And I said, no, if you don't do it, it's the play is not about you. It's only about people who just think and be that. It's like that. So, and the extreme left people from Bihar, after seeing the play, wanted to have a discussion with me how we are using these stories from Mahabharata and other things which are the tools of oppression to fight back, which no. So all these kind of mixed responses, and as a spectacle, as a performance, it's being celebrated. Lot of writing has been done. Some videos are there in YouTube. You can just Charu, you can just search Lokadharmi, Lokadharmi, and you can see some glimpses, some 10-minute things, edited versions, and some plays are there fully. My Shakuntalam, which I did for NSD, is there completely. You can, it's in Hindi, so it's there. It's again speaks about not from the typical Shakuntala. It's about the experience of, focused on the experience of Shakuntala, a very innocent girl, and how the king, who has all the power inside with him, and who thinks he is Kamadev, hunting into the forest and taking all his struggles, he decides to stay back and have her. And once he had her, he leaves and forgets comfortably. And when she goes back, he says that, no, I don't know you, kind of thing. And when he calls her back, she says, I don't believe in that ring anymore. It's the declaration of that female freedom. I don't believe in that ring anymore. This line is written by Kalidasa, not by me. I just took the lines written by him, highlighted it. There's a very small sequence of commenting on the Kalidasa's curse, Durvasa curse, the cursing of that, and why the story of the ring is there. Is it to save the king? Because Kalidasa is a poet of the court. There is, it's that. So it's also been performed well. We have 6 shows houseful in the NSD. The students loved it, the people loved it, and we are also doing that same play in Malayalam right now. We are performing here in Kerala, and the last show was in last February, early February. It was in Mysore, Karnataka. We have started traveling with that, but now it's a lockdown and we don't know when it's going to be over. So waiting for the lockdown to see people face to face again in theatre, to share our heartbeats, each other, our passions, to share our anxieties and our concerns, and have more meaningful kind of a talk. So that's what I would love to tell you right now, and I'm afraid the time is going on. If anybody has to say anything, you're most welcome. There are some clippings are there in the YouTube. You can either check Lokadharmi or Chandra Dasan. Shakuntalam, you can look Shakuntalam NSD Chandra Dasan. It will be giving you that link. And in that play there's no elements of classical Sanskrit theatre or Kudiyatam visible. It's a kind of folk play. That's a form which has been given using a lot of paintings, movement, music. It's a musical, 6-7 songs which you may like. So, anything else to add? So I think I have spoken for some time, and I have been speaking about what my theatre is like and why do I do my theatre, and how does it look like? It's not enough to get an understanding, an idea without seeing a play. Seeing a play is the best thing, and then talking about it is fine. But this is what we can do right now in this time, the times of COVID. And then, if you don't have anything else, no, I have to thank Coconut Theatre and all those people who have been hearing me. See you at some time direct at some theatre, hopefully. And if you'd love to, you can contact me in my Facebook page. And at 6 o'clock, there's the next session happening. It's my dear friend Keval from Amritsar is coming. Yes, I was planning a production, some big production right in the April. I want to start a production for my repertory and also for my children's theatre group. But I don't know whether I'm going to do it right now. I may be waiting for some time for the COVID situation to get little normalized. One, I have to assemble. Now, the thing is that, since we have a space, we have actors from all over Kerala coming together, and after the audition they come, I select actors and they stay together and do it. So people have to start traveling from different parts of the state. Coming to, it's not a local group right now, it's people from different parts of the state coming in. And then even if we do it, then people should come and see it. And there should be people to invite us also, because we perform 1 or 2 stages in the city, then we have to get invitations to other parts of the state and other parts of the country to come and perform. So I don't know what is going to be the performance scenario for some time, so I'm to little wait. But I have committed myself to do certain one-man shows with people, one person from Mangalore, one from Mumbai, one from Kolkata. Some people are waiting, some from Kochi also. So maybe that may be the first thing I'll be doing. And thank you, Jaydev, for getting me here, and thank you all, and good night. And wait for the session of Keval Thaliwal.